Hi, welcome to the Shelly Studio. Today I am going to play with some gel prints. This is a set of gel prints that I made a few years ago. They actually, I have a little note in there, they actually were a bouquet of flowers that my sister received back when my brother passed away. And they were just about, I let them, I didn't want to steal them from her. I let them die pretty much before I stole the greenery out of it and made these gel prints. I do have a video for the gel prints if you're interested in seeing the process for those. I'll put it in the description box. But then I have this chipboard ring book blank thing, and actually have a couple this size and then a couple that are really big, and they've just been sitting here forever. And this is gonna come out nearer on my brother's birthday. His birthday's on July 24th, and I was just thinking about him and thinking about these gel prints that I've not used any of them. They're just sitting there waiting for something. And I decided this was going to be it. This is what I'm going to do with them. I'm going to turn them into a little book. And as I'm doing this, I'm thinking in the back of my head that I'm going to add some images, maybe of my brother and his family. So that's kind of the plan. So I traced around it to try and get the best part of the gel print. I have saved those scraps. I don't know what I'm going to use them for, but, saved them. Alright, and I'm just going to use Yoo-Hoo glue stick. I really like the Yoo-Hoo. It's really adhesive. Like, these have been done for a few weeks now, and there's no peeling at all. No bubbling. I think it works really well. So this red one, is going to be the cover. So I have like two of the boards in this board book are thicker, and then the others are a little bit thinner. So yeah, I'm putting this one on as the cover, and I'm not going to put anything but the image on there, I don't think. Yeah, I had to adjust this one because for some reason I can't line things up. In fact, after I do this particular one, I decide to have the other ones just be a little bit bigger, give me a little bit more wiggle room. So like this one that's going to go on the next side is a little bit bigger. Not my favoriteest print, but I did, on these pages, I have gone in with some metallic pen and drawn around some of the patterns to help emphasize them. Especially like this one where the red and the pink, it gets kind of messy in there. But then once I do that, I let it dry, and then I'm going to sand in the holes where the rings are going to go. As long as the glue is dry, this works, and I've just twisted a piece of sandpaper and just go through there and sand it and get it nice and smooth so it looks good. Some of them look a little better than others, but it looks pretty good. And just get the ends. I don't know where the sandpaper came from, but it's kind of rough. It was a little rough. And then, so with the excess around the edges, I'm just going to come along with that sandpaper and just sand along the edges, and that will works even better than cutting or just tearing, because then you get that perfect edge. Pretty good edge. Oh, I found a spot. Fix that. You do want to make sure it's glued down everywhere, especially if you're going to do the sanding, and make sure that glue is dry. Because if the glue's not dry, the paper will tear and it won't be nice and straight like this. And after I did this, then I found my sanding block, which would have been a little bit easier than a piece of paper, a little teeny piece of paper. But I did need the teeny one to roll up to do the holes. But yeah. So see how smooth that comes off? I think that works pretty good. So how is everyone today? I hope you're doing well. I am doing this voiceover a little bit earlier than when it's coming out, but it's still hot. It's hot here. It's 100 degrees today. Oh, this print with the has the kind of gold leaf pattern. I would have to watch the video to remember how I did that, but I really like how the gold stands out on that pattern. And of course, I also inked around the other areas to emphasize the fern. I guess it's a fern pattern. And yeah, just taking each one of them one at a time and gluing them on. And this, I don't know, did I say it's not very big? It's got 6 pages is all. 6 chipboard pages, including the cover and front and back covers. So that's 12 prints. And now that I've used them and put them in something that I can keep, I'll have to use my other prints up now. I'd been saving them, wanting to do something special with them. So I guess this is it. Just checking all the edges, make sure everything is really glued really well. And definitely making it a little bit bigger and sanding the edges, which I don't make you watch me do that the whole time, is the way to go. If you have chipboard and you can sand, that's the way to go. I have done it before where I've come along with an X-Acto knife. I've also done it where I've done scissors, and inevitably I mess something up. Like the blade will go awry or go too far. Same with the scissors. Can't quite get right at the edge. So using a sanding block and just going along that edge is the ideal way to get rid of that excess. You can tell I like blue. These prints were all done sort of in jewel colors. And yeah, I really like blue. I can't remember which brand of paint I was using. I feel like it might have been Hippie Crafter. Like just filling the prints, because the prints are really slick filling. Well, not all of them. Some of them are a little more, but Hippie Crafter leaves a real slick print when you print with it on the gel plate, which is kind of nice actually. But yeah, just going through and the pages. If this is too boring for you, watching me add all these pages, I do a flip through at the very end and show you what I added to the book. I wanted to do some sort of image transfer, but I couldn't figure out, without taking prints and getting them laser printed and then attempting to do it with the gel plate, or doing like where you do matte medium over it and then rub off the paper on the back. None of those would work with an inkjet. You have to have a laser printer. So I actually took some rice paper that I had, cut it down to 8.5 by 11 so it would fit in my printer, and sent it through the printer. I was nervous. I thought it was gonna like jam and gum up the works, but I just did that and just let it go through my printer, and it went through just fine. Like, I was surprised. So I did print some images on some rice paper. The idea is to have it be a little bit more translucent, transparent, more subtle, not totally in your face kind of images. So that was my goal. Anyway, I hope you like this video, if you like this video. But yeah, if you are interested in seeing how the prints were made, that is another video from a couple years ago, and I'll have it linked below. But yeah, just going through one at a time. I think I have one more set of pages. I did attempt to do I tried like the packing tape transfer, but that doesn't work with inkjet. But I tried it just to see. I tried the matte medium one where you coat it with matte medium and then rub off. That didn't work either. Well, it kind of worked better, but the ink from inkjet still bleeds and kind of turns purple. And I didn't really want it to be purple, unless it was on a purple page. I do have a little purple in this book. Don't you love that one? I love the colors on that one. I have no idea what color paints I used on that one. And then there's my orange one. I've taken to using magazines as my glue books too, so that's why the travel brochure is there. Catch the glue that goes over the edge. Didn't quite get it lined up right. I have to go over the edges. There we go. Much better. This one does have a little bit of white. Do I cut off the white? I do. And then this is the last page, the back cover. And of course, my prints are never pristine on the back because there's too much paint flying around. Okay, so I decided once I got that done, I didn't want the chipboard edges. So I have this Aztec Gold from Arteza, which I really like, but it's gotten a bit thick. I've had it for a long time. It's almost the end of the tube. I ended up like massively having to peel off my brayer because it just built up on that brayer so unevenly. But yeah, I'm just gonna go around and touch all of these into that metallic gold paint, so they'll have a nice little trim around the edges. I think it looks good. I like the gold. A little bit of bling. But yeah, it made a mess of my brayer. I did let my brayer dry and then peeled all that off. It was very clumpy paint. That's what happens when it gets old and dry. So once I've got all of those, I just need to clean up my gel plate and move on to the next step. Oh, and yeah, I tried taking a baby wipe to the brayer as well because it was very chunky. But I don't make, like I start, but yeah, I don't make you see that. So there they are. I'm going to put the rings on them and then figure out how to add some images. Kind of fun, right? And really, basically, just a real simple. Yeah, that one was like taking effort. I was trying to use something to help push on the ring. So there it is before I add some images. Okay, so I've printed some things onto rice paper and I have some nori paste. Nori paste is supposed to be the best for rice paper, I guess. And I'd seen it on sale and I'd been influenced by Patty Tolly Parrish, so I thought I'd give it a try. The first thing I put on there is last name is Shelley, so, and of course my brother's last name is also Shelley. And I did do these on ink. I was really worried, inkjet, I was really worried that the ink would bleed, but it seems to be holding up pretty good, actually. This part is a little hard to read, but I did leave it yellow rather than doing just the white rice paper. But yeah, I did each section and let it dry completely before going to the next one because I didn't want anything to stick together. And I decided to tear the edges. I did have them cut, but I decided to tear the edges. Would make it a little more subtle, I think. And I don't film me gluing all of these down, just this one, I think. Because, like I said, I let it dry in between each one, so it happened over a few days, actually. So I just glue one down and go do something else. And move on. So I did test the nori paste before I did this one. And the print that I did, it looked pretty translucent. So I was hoping this would work. And yeah, rice paper's the same as anything else. If you let it sit there in the wet state for too long, it will tear on you. So you have to be careful. So yeah. I'm just blotting it down because I don't want anything to tear or shift because it does kind of move on you. And I thought maybe putting some of the nori paste over the top would help with the transparency. It may or may not have. Anyways, that's my brother in the foreground and then kids and grandkids in the background. All right, so now we'll do a little flip through of everything. Okay, so here it is. I've added some pictures. They didn't go down quite like I wanted. I wanted them a lot more transparent. But I did print them with an inkjet printer onto rice paper. I used nori paste, which I thought would be the safest to use. I did test it. I did a little test and just did the underneath, trying not to let the ink smear, because it smears because it's inkjet and not laser print. So I thought that not too bad. And then, yeah, these are just pictures of my brother and family. And then there's me and my brother and a couple other brothers. I just thought I'd add a few in here because that was the whole inspiration for the prints and everything. So this one's got a little. They're not 100% clear. Like some of them I took from Facebook and stuff. So yeah, they're not the greatest, but they get the point across, I think. And then I found this, I don't remember when, but my last name's Shelley. His last name is Shelley, of course. It says since 1182. In some ancient cultures, the word for strength is Shelley. To a person who demonstrated incredible strength, whether physical strength, strength of character, emotional strength in times of difficulty, etc., the word Shelley was added to their name. Individuals passed on this name to their families as a way of gifting them their strength. So that's where the name Shelley comes from. Well, I don't know, you know, proof and all that. But it was on the internet, so yeah, I thought it was fun. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this little project. If you did, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you have an awesome day.